Hello and welcome to Michael's Minty Music for today. Today we review the Beths' most recent album, 2022's Expert in a Dying Field. It is really great. This is the track listing, and these are the tracks I added to my playlist, which is all of them, all 12. This album's really great. Pretty much all the songs here are good, and some of them are really quite outstanding. The opening title track is really great. Sounds sort of new and fresh, but still in their style, not out of place. The next couple of tracks could all sort of be really big hits, and I would say that overall, at least half to a third of these tracks could be heard on the radio if the radio worked like that. The quality is just really high overall, and while not quite every song is a big hit, every song is definitely good. The flow is pretty good as well. I mentioned the opening track is a great opener, and the next couple of songs all flow well with it, kind of in the sort of style, upbeat. The album manages actually to slow down a bit without you noticing halfway through. It's pretty impressive, and the final track, 2 a.m., is actually pretty slow when compared to the opening, but in between it's hard to notice. There's a couple of tracks here and there which do slow down a little bit, but the next one seems to be a little upswing, so it kind of slowly slows down very subtly. The style is a nice combination of their previous two albums. It mostly focuses on the more pop rock stuff, but there's some clear alternative influence on some of the tracks. And in general, no two songs sound very much alike, which is pretty great. The genre overall is kind of all the same, but all the songs are still interesting, which is kind of exactly what you want to do there. So overall, a really great album. Probably going to go on my short list of top albums ever. You can definitely listen to this album a couple of times and still like it, which is really good. Just a great album overall. Really like this one. As far as I could tell, there were no singles released before the album, although I didn't go out of my way to do a ton of research. I just kind of did a quick search, so could be wrong. In any case, my favorite track here is probably that opening title track, Expert in a Dying Field. It's just it's so good. Very fresh and interesting. I would love to hear something like that on the radio, and it's kind of a crime that they didn't get big here in the US after the release of this album. Some of the other ones that were good were When You Know, You Know, and I Told You That I Was Afraid, but that opener is just really incredible. I can't really put anything above that one. I rank this album the best out of the Beth's 3 albums. This is definitely higher quality than their debut, and they've clearly improved a bit from both of their previous albums. The sound on this one is a bit more varied and interesting than their other albums, although not by a ton. It's not a huge improvement, but that's more because the other ones were already pretty good. I think that on a song-by-song basis, Expert beats out both Jump Rope Gazers and Future Me. Definitely a band that is looking to sort of improve strongly with this album, and they succeed pretty well here. Additionally, this album does take my top spot from 2022, which is a big deal since they take it away from Imagine Dragons' Mercury Act 2. It's a little close here, but I think the Beths really have something incredible going. And while Imagine Dragons have high quality and experience, Mercury Act 2 is far from their best work, and Expert in a Dying Field is more consistent and has some tracks that are pretty equivalent to a lot of the big hits off of Mercury Act 2, in my opinion. So it beats out and takes the top spot from 2022. And those two are really the top of the year here. Nothing else released that year was anywhere close to sort of the quality of both of those two. So those are relatively close, but Expert in the Dying Field is better in my opinion. So thank you for watching. Next up is Billy Joel's 1974 album, Streetlife Serenade. It's good, but definitely not one of his best albums. It's got an interesting sound to it, which I don't always love, but can usually appreciate. So it's still good. Stay tuned for that, and as always, stay minty.